are beginning a program today, and it's a pilot program which will certainly grow into something larger and larger, and that is a community contact tracing program. We've done contact tracing all along. That a contact is a person who's been exposed to someone that we document to have the COVID infection. When we find someone who has a COVID infection, those people are immediately isolated. But we also work with them to figure out who their contacts were. Luckily, because you have been doing such a great job of cooperating and staying indoors, staying isolated, it used to be there were 10 contacts, at least, for every patient that we would find. Now, it looks like there are probably only 2 or 3 or 4 contacts, not surprisingly, because most people have been staying away from others. And that's good news. But the purpose of this program is to bring on people. We're going to start with 10 people. We may bring on up to 50 or even more as the program grows and as we see the needs for it. As we do more testing, we will find more and more people who have COVID-19. And again, we'll isolate every one of them, and we will find every one of their contacts, and we will make sure that they stay quarantined, and we'll check in with them every day. In other words, what this program means is that we're going to do a more complete job, and we're going to do a more meticulous job of making it less and less possible for others in the county to run into someone with COVID-19 infection. It's not just our county that's bringing more people on. There are going to be thousands of people hired who will be these contact investigators throughout the state. And this is occurring in many, many other states as well, perhaps all of the states in our country. We will be giving intensive training to these people, training not only for identifying and finding contacts, but also in terms of how to be sensitive about doing it. We also realize that as we find more contacts, some of the people we find are going to have trouble being isolated. For instance, if they live in a home where there's only one bathroom and there are 3 or 4 other people living there, and those people don't have COVID infection, we're not going to be able to keep the person in that home. Every person who we're isolating, for instance, needs to have their own bathroom. And so we'll be moving people like this into other kinds of housing that we have available. They'll also have other needs, perhaps, food, whatever it's going to be. The county will be there to back them up and to support them.
So, I want you to listen to this. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand and in
Hello everyone, I hope you're having a blessed and beautiful day today. I have a few things that I want to read for you today, and then in the description box I'm going to place the video that I did a couple of weeks ago that was talking about the FEMA camps, and then once people get into these FEMA camps, they're not going to be able to get out unless they have the vaccine, or this is how it's going to all play into the B system. So I'm going to put that the link to that video down below if you want to watch it and how this is all playing out right now. But right now I wanted to read something for you, and then I want to share a picture with you. And this stuff is getting crazy, guys. So it says the Tennessee Department of Health is providing the names and addresses of residents who test positive for COVID-19 to sheriffs and chief of police across the state on a daily basis, a practice raising concerns about privacy. The offer to share the otherwise protected health information with law enforcement came at the request of Governor Bill Lee, according to 2 letters obtained by the Tennessee Lookout. Health has a list of names and addresses of people in Tennessee who have tested positive or are receiving treatment for COVID-19, a letter dated April 20th to state police. The letter was sent by Valerie Nogshiner, chief of the state of Tennessee Department of Health. Health will make that list available to you and send you an updated version of the list each day, provided that your office has entered into a memorandum of understanding with Health. A letter with the same offer was sent to the state sheriff on April 9th. The letters and memorandum make clear that the names of all individuals who have tested positive, even those with no past or present interaction with law enforcement, will be disclosed to police departments and sheriff's offices. As of Thursday, 14,906 Tennesseans have tested positive for the virus. Among them are nursing home residents, meat processing plants, healthcare workers, and children. So far, 32 county sheriff's offices and 35 police departments have entered into an agreement with the state to receive the information. This stuff is private, okay? Your medical records are supposed to be private. That's part of going to the doctor, and this is the law, that they keep your medical records private. And now Tennessee is giving your medical records to the police officers to let them know that you have either tested positive or are receiving treatment and what kind of treatment you're receiving. This is against the law, but they're still doing it anyways. Okay, and then the woman, she's saying it's just for safety reasons. The Manchester chief of police told the Chattanooga Times Press, "It's just another step in trying to keep officers safe." Right. Okay, the author said that the names and addresses are held by dispatchers who alert officers if there is a police call at an address where someone who has been confirmed with COVID-19. So it gets dispatched across all of their cars, so everybody knows, right? And people have police scanners, so it's not just the police that are going to be finding this out. It's going to be the entire world who listens to police scanners and hears the calls and stuff. So everybody's going to know your information, your number, everything. Okay, and then it says, the purpose of disclosures is to prevent or control the spread of COVID-19, minimize the threat of exposure to law enforcement officers and employees, and protect the health of individuals in custody. Baloney. Okay, this is part of, they're trying to start tracking and taking control of your life and taking control of you. This has nothing to do with the safety, has everything to do with the B system. And what I'm going to show you next will even confirm it even more. So let's see here. All right, the letters from Tennessee's health department tell sheriffs and police chiefs to instruct officers that they may not provide inferior services or responsiveness to an individual on the list of COVID patients. A health department phone number to report individuals suspected of providing inferior service or responsiveness is provided. The information, the letter said, can only be used for limited purposes described in a memorandum of understanding. The memorandum lists those purposes as to prevent or control the spread of COVID, minimize the immediate threat of exposure, provide health care to any individual who has tested positive, or forcefully, I should say that, provide for the health and safety of inmates and staffs in jail, enforce the law on the premises of correctional institutes, and administer and maintain the safety, security, and good order for the correctional institute. Okay. So that was that. Well, just today, I'm going to show this to you. I'm going to reach up my phone and I'm going to show this to you. Okay? this man here lives in Tennessee. Okay, they have these FEMA camps in Tennessee at the fairgrounds. He was in this FEMA camp, whatever. And I don't know if you can see it or read it, I'll read it for you. But it says, quarantined man arrested after he jumps the fence at fairgrounds trying to flee. Okay, a 39-year-old man who was quarantined for COVID at the Nashville fairgrounds was arrested after police said he jumped the fence and fled without permission from the health department. Okay, remember, this is why I'm saying I'm going to put the link to that video about the FEMA camps and how once you get there, good luck, you're not getting out. This man, it's, here we go, it's already starting. So then I wanted to talk a little bit about this new initiative that's coming out. It's it's called HR 6666. And I'm going to read that for you. So here's right now, the bill. It's HR 6666, and it's on the House of Congress right now here in the United States. And I'm going to read it for you here. It says to authorize the Secretary of Health and Human Services to award grants to eligible entities to conduct diagnostic testing for COVID-19 and related activities such as contact tracing through mobile health units and as necessary at individuals' residence and for other purposes. Okay. Okay, it's called the TRACE Act right here, the TRACE Act. This act may be cited as the COVID-19 testing and contacting everyone Act, TRACE Act. Okay, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, acting through the Director of the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, may award grants to eligible entities to conduct diagnostic testing for COVID-19 to trace and monitor the contacts of infected individuals and to support and quarantine of such contacts through mobile health units, FEMA camps, and the necessary testing individuals and providing individuals with services related to testing and quarantine at their residence. A grant recipient under the section may use the grant funds in support of the activities described in subsection to hire, train, whatever, okay? Okay, so the Tracing Act, okay, so as you can see in the video at the beginning of this video, how they're talking about taking the person from a house and putting them in quarantine. They're forcing people to quarantine against their will, against what they're taking the rights away from you. If you feel like you don't want to go, you have no right, and they will tell you you will go, and if you refuse, you will be arrested. People are being arrested for coughing. They're considering it an assault. I saw a video yesterday of some guy that was being arrested because, or for whatever reason, I don't know, but he coughed, and they slapped an assault charge on him because of this COVID. So, in the tribulation, and I want to quickly and briefly run through this. I'm going to do another video more in depth because I feel an urgency like never before. But in the tribulation, we are going to have people, your rights are gone, and it doesn't matter where you are across the world, it doesn't matter. You will be tracked, you will be traced, and you will be forced into submission. And if you do not submit to your will to the beast system, you will suffer the consequences for it. And this COVID-19 thing is paving the way for the tribulation, and it's paving the way and opening the doors and the floodgates for the beast system to rise. And we're seeing that now. And I saw something yesterday where they were talking about, or maybe it was a video. I'm going to see if I can find it. But there was a woman who they suspected had COVID-19, but they weren't sure. She had not been tested, and she was standing there with her children, and they just pulled her away from her kids and hauled her off to jail and in front of her children, and, just because they thought that she had COVID-19. They are forcing, I think it's in Illinois, I read this morning that the governor of Illinois is telling churches that they will not be reopening at all this year, that they will not be allowed to reopen until next year, which isn't going to happen. Either we're not going to be here, and if surprisingly we are still here, the churches are never going to open again, because they are allowing, and they're stampeding over people's rights, and people are just bowing down to it and not standing up to people. And because people are bowing down to it, they are pushing over you guys, and they're seeing that, hey, we can, these people are cowards, and they're not standing up, and we can rush right through them, and they're just going to allow this stuff to happen. If more people would stand up and for their rights and stand up and say, no, you're not doing this, then yeah, you might get arrested, but at least the more people that do it, they're going to see that you're not going to just go with the flow like black sheep and just go wherever they say. And we can see all of this occurring now, and they're going to start forcing themselves into people's homes and taking out people who they want quarantined. And like I said, once you go into those FEMA camps, good luck, you're not getting out unless you have a vaccine or something that you can come out, and the vaccine is going to be trackable and traceable, and that's the only way that you're going to be allowed out. And this is coming so fast, and everything is happening so quickly and so swiftly. And if you are not awake, if you're not awake to see the things that are happening and put two and two together and realize, hey, maybe, the Christians, what they've been saying all along is actually true. Or if you're, a sleeping Christian, it's time to wake up from your slumber. It's time to wake up from your nap and realize that things are moving very quickly, and get your life back right. Turn back to Christ, and, start telling people so you can get as many people on this ark as you possibly can, because the door is closing and we are very soon to be raptured. Do not believe the people that are telling you that the rapture is a lie, or that there's no such thing as a rapture, that or that, hey, we have to go through the entire tribulation, and then and only then, if you can make it to the end, you'll be saved. Don't believe that. That's a lie straight from the pit of hell. Do not believe that. Jesus is coming, and he is coming so soon. And we already see the things that are going to be happening in the tribulation happen now. And we are not in the tribulation right now. I know it may seem that way, but we're not. But we can see the direction that it's heading. You ain't seen nothing yet, okay? Those of you, if you, God forbid, get left behind, this is nothing. This is a dress rehearsal for the main event, okay? This is nothing. You will become state property. Unless you come to Jesus and you decide that you are going to follow Christ, you will become part of state property, no matter what country you live in. And that property is of the beast. And who's the beast? It's none other than Satan. And I just pray that you wake up and you see the things that are going on. But I wanted to show you a few things that are happening today in this HR 6666. The vaccine has a, what is that called? A code to it that's got this 060606. So when you take the vaccine, you're taking the mark of the beast. So please don't be blind to the things that are happening. Don't just be like the sheep that just follows along with the herd and just goes with the flow and don't want to make waves and don't want to, be uncomfortable in your life. So I'm going to leave that with you. And check the description box so you can watch the video that I was talking about the FEMA camps. I may even put in the dream that I had where people had their names are no longer. They were known by numbers. And I think that that's interesting because, you know, if you take the mark of the beast, you're going to be known by something, right? It's going to be kind of like there's going to be a number that goes along with it. And so you are going to be a number. Your name isn't going to be yours anymore. It's going to be, you know, so when you go to the doctor, you know, and they scan your ID, your microchip, it's going to come up with a number, and that's going to be your identity. So anyways, I love you guys, and I'll leave that with you, and I hope you have a blessed and beautiful rest of your day.